Good morning, everyone. Which English learner wouldn't want to adjust their accent to sound more like a native English speaker? Sitting in a big English class will help you learn more grammar, but that teacher probably will not have time to give you the individual attention that you need to really modify your accent. So how can you speak more clearly in a clearer English accent? Well, stick around because I'm going to give you 4 tips to help you improve your accent. Did you know that studies say that your voice makes a very quick and strong impression when you first meet someone? They just get a feeling about you. Do you have a high and timid voice? Do you have a strong and deep voice? It all makes an impression. But it's not just our voices that make an impression. It's the way we say our words, our accent. We all have an accent, including me. I have an Australian accent, which is part of who I am. Accent makes an impression, but it takes some effort to change. So why should we have to change our accent? Why should we change? Why should we do it? Well, that's a very important question that only you can answer for yourself. Is your accent affecting your opportunities in your job, in the way you communicate with other people? Do people ask you to repeat yourself and make you feel frustrated? Or do you just want to communicate more clearly? Well, stick around because today I have 4 tips that are going to help you to adjust your accent to sound more like a native English speaker. There are museums and art galleries.
Museum and galleries.
Museums and art galleries.
Museums and
Museums.
museums. Museums.
Yeah, museum.
Museums.
Mouth has to close at the end also. Museums.
Museums.
Yes, you got it.
Museum.
The best and quickest way to modify your accent is to get help. And if you can, to try to get a tutor. Someone who can give you specific feedback on how you're saying things. The feedback person should have skill in noticing what needs to be adjusted and showing you how to do that. Once you're sure you can pronounce the word correctly, that takes you to our second tip, which is practice. In 2015, a study was carried out in the Prince William Hospital in Brisbane, Australia. Australia. Okay, so we just saw that Tomato was having problems with the STR sound, str, in the middle of Australia. She was saying Australia, but she couldn't get the STR. She had to practice until she got it correct. Then after that, she went home and she repeated it again and again in the correct way. But why did she have to practice if she gets it right when she's with me? Because she has pronunciation habits from when she was a baby, from her first language. So those habits, when she translates over into English, they mean that she doesn't quite grasp some of the sounds in English that she doesn't have in her own language. She's got habits and she's got to break those habits, and the way to break habits is by practicing, by saying it again and again. Now she says Australia easily, and she's almost to the point where she says it naturally in her conversation every time. Okay, so the question is, do you have any unhealthy habits? And you said, okay, so just repeat this after me. Yes, I like.
Yes, I like
Eating sweet things.
eating sweet things,
Like Thai dessert.
like Thai desserts.
The next tip is to slow down. Slow down when you're speaking to native English speakers because they will understand you better. But also slow down when you're trying to get that difficult sound that you're finding so hard to get. So in the clip coming up, you're going to see Fernando trying to say the phrase My town's in. My town's in. So we had to break the word town into 4 separate sounds. So we heard t, a, o, n, z. Towns. T, a, o, n, z. Towns. So he said it slowly a few times before he could actually get the word. If he tried to say it quickly, he wouldn't have been able to get all those 4 sounds in. He would just say towns or something. Okay, so he needed to break it down into the separate parts. My hometown's in Hanoi.
My hometown is in.
My hometown's in.
My hometown's in.
Listen, my hometown's in.
My hometown's in.
Town's in.
My town's in.
Okay, now tip number 4 is that most people when they're learning English only try to improve the sounds of the words. They don't really listen to the intonation and stress. So the intonation is the sound of the sentence, the music of the sentence. So instead of saying, hello, I'm going to the beach today, you say, hello, I'm going to the beach today. Would you like to come? So you can hear that the sound has a particular music to it. Okay, those are the kinds of things that we also need to focus on when we're practicing our English. If you are listening to a TV program or something on YouTube, try to listen to the music, the sound of the English that's being spoken. Try to listen to which words are being stressed. Coming up, I'm going to show you a clip of my student Bruce, who was doing listen and repeat with me, and notice that she repeats my intonation exactly without even thinking about it as she listens. So let's watch that video now. So, research shows that when people work with a positive mindset, positive mindset, performance on nearly every level, productivity, creativity, engagement improves. Yeah. So let's go through those 4 tips again. Number 1, get help from a native English speaker. And if you can't, watch some YouTube clips or some TV and do some listen and repeat. Number 2, practice, practice, practice. In a best case scenario, it's a good idea to practice at least half an hour every day for at least 5 days a week. The more you practice, the more quickly you can modify your accent. Tip number 3, break the difficult words down and say them very slowly until you get it. Okay, say all the parts of the words like we did with Fernando. Town's in. My town's in. Okay? Number 4, don't forget to pay attention to the intonation and stress in a sentence. The intonation and stress could be a key for you to be able to be understood much better by English speakers. That's all for today. I hope you like this episode of English Fluent with Dee. Don't forget to like and subscribe and add a comment as well in the buttons below. Thanks everybody and see you next time.